Princess Diana, called Lady Di or People's Princess, left a legacy that has lived far beyond her humanitarian work or her unconventional approach to charity work. She became known for her involvement with AIDS patients, campaign for the removal of landmines, helping people affected with cancer and mental illness. Let's also mention her dedication to her children, Prince William and Prince Harry. Her charisma and friendliness touched the public and helped her reputation survive the collapse of her marriage. Considered to be very photogenic, she was a leader of fashion in the 80s and 90s. Her legacy still has a deep impact on the royal family and British society. A worldwide symbol of beauty and grace, Diana's style is something to be admired. It has also placed her in the ranks of the other icons, like Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis or Grace Kelly, elegant but chic ladies. Let's have a detailed look on her style. Lady Di before marriage. At the age of 19, Princess Diana's style was much more demure than her later years. She favored shirts and feminine blouses and loved wearing an initial necklace around the neck. It was actually appropriate to her profession. She was working as a nanny. The engagement. Princess Diana and Prince Charles got engaged in 1981, and the outfit she wore to the announcement at the Buckingham Palace was power dressing at its best. It was the beginning of Diana's royal style journey, but believe it or not, the dress was actually bought from the Harrods at the last minute. Diana had visited high-end Belleville Sassoon, but wasn't recognized by the French sales assistant who suggested Diana visited a more budget-appropriate department store. Fortunately, once David Sassoon himself had discovered the mishap, Diana was warmly welcomed back into the boutique and their relationship flourished from there. The designer was one of the defining names behind the Diana style. Princess Diana began to get attention from the press after announcing her engagement. Here she is leaving her flat in Earl's skirt. Her oversized pinstripe trousers and high-neck shirt shows her perfect sartorial taste. Look at this example from 1986. She is sitting on the steps outside her country home, Highgrove. She is casually dressed in pink gingham trousers with a matching jumper. Let's have a look at another photo from March 1981. As a royal-to-be, this was Princess Diana's first official appearance following the engagement. She wore an amazing little black dress designed by Elizabeth and David Emanuel, designers who were behind Diana's wedding dress. It made headlines around the world and established Diana as a global style icon. Let's enter another chapter of Princess Diana's life, marriage to Prince Charles. The couple married on the 29th July 1981. Diana's wedding dress, designed by Elizabeth and David Emanuel, was a fairy tale fantasy showcasing traditional English craftwork. The dress became one of the most famous outfits in the world, and the 25-foot train added a touch of theatricality that would create an enduring image of the event, which was watched on the live television by more than 1 billion people worldwide. From that moment, the princess became an international figure, photographed and documented wherever she went, and she became a global fashion icon. Diana loved clothes. They were a personal passion, but also a requirement of her new public life. As one of the most important members of the British royal family, her wardrobe requirements were fixed in a world that required ball gowns and matching hats, shoes and bags, items that were not typical of mainstream fashion for young women in the early 1980s. It is not surprising that in the early years of her marriage, she was influenced by established British fashion designers, including Muriel Arbeit, Belville Sassoon, and Gianni Frattini, whose traditions of classic tailoring for the day and romantic evening wear dated back 50 years. Diana was, however, determined to stamp a modern and youthful personal style on this public and formal persona, and more than any other British designer, Catherine Walker helped her to develop an elegant, tailored look that became her own. In the mid to late 80s, as Diana's love of fashion and her confidence grew, she began to make some bolder fashion choices. We see her growing in confidence through her life, increasingly taking control of how she was represented and intelligently communicating through her clothes. There were the bold evening gowns, including the midnight blue Victor Edelstein dress she wore to dance with John Travolta on a state visit to the USA to meet Ronald and Nancy Reagan. In fact, that dress was considered as a departure from her usual safe style. It was the iconic moment during which Princess Diana captured the hearts of the world, showing off her fun side by dancing with a famous actor. The gown was sold at auction for £240,000 after her death. Princess Diana also became known for her sequin gowns, which looked like from popular dynasty series from that era. During the day, she favored power suits and dressed in equally bright designs and prints, always wore with matching accessories. After her divorce from Prince Charles, Diana went on to develop a more individual style that reflected her new independence and freedom. Diana understood her role as a fashion icon and that everything she wore, every new accessory and change of hairstyle would be commented. She replaced the brash colors and exaggerated silhouettes of the 80s with sleeker, more minimal styles and muted tones. Perhaps one of her most famous of all was the black Christina Stambolian revenge dress she wore to the Serpentine Gallery summer party in 1994, the same night Prince Charles admitted to having an affair with Camilla. But we may never know Diana's true intentions for wearing the iconic black dress, since the designer Christina Stambolian revealed that the dress had actually been made for Diana 3 years prior to its first appearance in the spotlight. At the first time, the princess had been too nervous to wear it because she claimed it was too daring. In fact, Diana had initially planned on wearing a Valentino dress until her outfit of choice was released to the press ahead of the event, according to the reports from the Telegraph. Instead, she made a last-minute switch and opted for the daring Stambolian black dress. Anna Harvey, her former stylist, said that she wanted to look like $1 million that night. In the 90s, in search of a new look, she remained loyal to British designers, notably Jacques Ezaguri, who encouraged her to wear dresses with lower cut and to wear shorter skirts. She also turned to European designers, the Italian designers Versace and Valentino, and to the French couture houses of Dior, Lacroix, and Chanel. Her look became more international, with a sophisticated and simple silhouette and an effect that was all in details. Superb cut and luxurious materials worn with coordinated colored accessories, handbags, jewelry, and shoes. Diana was also known that she dressed for the places she traveled to, especially when on official tours or visiting hospitals or schools. She omitted gloves and hats when she visited places where she might interact with children or want to hold hands with a patient, and she selected more casual ensembles for visits that called for it, regardless of the formality of her title. This thoughtfulness given to her wardrobe allowed Diana to convey her concern and views in a more personal, tactile way. Diana used clothes to communicate with the world, said Elizabeth Emanuel, designer of Princess Wedding Gown. Whenever she traveled anywhere, she was very careful to select clothes that paid homage to the country, but she also had a sense of humor and fun about herself. She'd wear a custom-made gown with earrings from the high street. Let's have a look at a few Diana's iconic dresses from 90s. This photo from the Royal Lancaster Hotel from 1990 shows Catherine Walker dress worn to a charity evening. The shimmery gown was complete with puff long sleeves and adorned with sequins, meaning Diana caught the light wherever she turned. During visiting British troops in Canterbury in 1995, she wore the pink suit complete with a very Jackie O hat. It was designed by Gianni Versace. Interestingly enough, the Serpentine Summer Party the following year was also significant for Princess Diana, as it was during her divorce proceedings. The pretty blue halter neck gown was the ultimate summer party mini dress. Here, Princess Diana wears a gorgeous bright blue silk dress by Versace on the red carpet during her tour of Australia in 1996. The event in question was a Harrods Foundation ball in Sydney. At the 1996 Met Gala, held in honor of Christian Dior himself, Diana paid homage to the designer by opting for this Dior navy number. One of Princess Diana's last public appearances before her tragic death in 1997 was to see Swan Lake at the Royal Albert Hall in June. The necklace she wore for the performance, since nicknamed the Swan Lake Suit Necklace and made of 178 diamonds and pearls, became iconic. It went on sale for approximately £10 million. In 1997, the influential fashion photographer Mario Testino shot a series of images of Princess Diana wearing Gianni Versace for Vanity Fair magazine. These photographs have come to define the look and glamour of a woman who became not only an important fashion icon of the 20th century, but also a princess of people's hearts. A few years ago, Off-White's Spring-Summer 2018 collection was clearly inspired by Princess Diana's style, with models wearing her signature power shoulders, cycling shorts with blazers, pastel suits and sunglasses worn around their necks. Whole photo shoot have been dedicated to showcasing her style too. Just have a look at Hailey Bieber's Vogue Paris shoot in 2019. This video is my tribute to Princess Diana, whose personality I admire a lot. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.